Hello and welcome to topic 4. Also, happy President's Day. We celebrate President's Day in honor of President Lincoln, who had a February birthday, and in honor of President George Washington, who had a February 22nd birthday. So I looked at the National Weather Service weather report this morning and it says Washington's birthday. Today is not Washington's birthday. So it was disappointing to me that even the National Weather Service could not get that correct. But today is not Washington's birthday. George Washington's birthday is February 22nd. Today is just a national holiday that we have to celebrate President's Day in honor largely of President Lincoln and President Washington. And why do we want to honor them? President Washington, in my opinion, is the greatest president we have ever had because he could have been king. He was so highly regarded by the American people. He could have been king. He could have been president for life at least. But he set the precedent to be president for 2 terms and then retire. And now that's a constitutional amendment after FDR helped himself to 4 terms, which I think, the argument can be made that that was helpful because we were in the middle of World War II. But in my opinion, George Washington is the greatest president we've ever had. He really could have been king, and he chose not to. So he's tremendous. Also, President Lincoln, tremendous. The Emancipation Proclamation, formally ending slavery, finally getting those Civil War amendments into the Constitution, and then we have the Plessy case, and other actions by branches of government undermining and circumventing those Civil War amendments. But then finally, in the 1950s, 60s, even in the 1940s with the Shelley case, we see the court enforcing the Civil War amendments. Finally, the Civil Rights Act in 1964, we start to make some progress. So those are the 2 greatest presidents in the history of the United States, I think, Washington and Lincoln. Okay, this week, we're gonna learn about some business titans. So John D. Rockefeller, he was huge, and he was so huge that which obviously we read about him in chapter 17, but your discussion question this week, your first one, is about him. So he was such a force that his biography is titled Titan. So that says a lot about him. Both of your discussion questions are a review of chapter 17. This week we're reading chapter 18, and I was a little premature with my interjecting the Plessy case because it's in chapter 18, but you all did great answering that, so thank you for reading that. Also, I encourage you to read, obviously all of the material, read all of the material, but this Henry Clay, it's an article linked in topic 4, and he's defending the American economic system, and your assignment that's due on Sunday is about the American economy. So read this little article. This is on senate.gov, and it's linked in the topic 4 materials and resources. Also, at the top, you can click on this. When you go to this article, this is in blue. You can click on it, and there's 35 pages of Henry Clay's speeches that I printed to read just out of my own curiosity. But he talks about the American system, and it had 3 parts. So tariffs on imports and exports. Those can be used strategically to promote American industry. A national bank, that was Alexander Hamilton's dream, was a national bank. And then also subsidies. And today we think of agricultural subsidies, but also there were subsidies for roads, canals, internal improvements that we would call infrastructure today. So this is really interesting and explains the foundation really of today's economy. You also have a quiz on Sunday. So discussion question 1, Rockefeller, that's due Wednesday. Discussion question 2, Friday, it's due. It's about labor unions. Those are still huge today, huge. We have a teachers union, there's labor unions, there's a, railroad has union. The unions are powerful. So it's important to learn about them. Let me know if you have any questions on anything. You're all doing really great. If you have late assignments or if you're late on something, please reach out to me and let me know. Sometimes if we go too long, I guess it blocks you, like you can't access it. And I have to put zeros in if things are not turned in on time. So if for some reason you can't access something you need, reach out to me. I can reassign it to you. I learned how to do that. So have a great week and happy President's Day.